Hello, intelligent coders. My name is Shawn, and I will be your instructor today. In this lesson on the Coding with Shawn channel, we will learn how to install Numpy, Pandas, and Matplotlib, all of which are Python libraries. So, by doing this, we will actually end up installing some components of IPython, but to actually finish the installation of IPython, we're going to need Jupyter Notebook, because then we can actually run our code. So this is actually the first part of a series on how to use Numpy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Jupyter Notebook, and IPython. But this is the part where we're going to install the Numpy, Panda, and Matplotlib section. So after this lesson, you need to go ahead and go to part 2. And in part 2, I show you how to install Jupyter Notebook. And after that second lesson, we're going to begin on our code part. So these first 2 lessons are dedicated to the installation sections. So first, I'm going to go ahead and give you a quick rundown of the requirements, of which there are only 3. The first is the obvious. You need to have a computer, and I'm assuming that you are watching this on a computer, but if you are watching this on a mobile phone, then please make sure that you do have access to a computer, which you can use. The next requirement is that you have Python installed. So if you do not have Python installed, I do request that you please go to the description below or click on the iCard, which should be popping up in the top right corner of your screen right about now. And that is a lesson where I talk all about installing Python and how to install Python. But if you do have all those requirements fulfilled, the last requirement is that you do have an active, stable internet connection. Because if you do have an internet connection that might, randomly cut and then come back, that may disrupt or create problems with the installation. So make sure you have a stable internet connection. But if it is slow, that's not a problem. Just make sure you have a stable, active internet connection. So I did actually have some confusion with some of my lessons because beginners were thinking they were part of the Python for Beginners series. So I want you to go ahead, if you are a beginner, I'm going to go ahead and give a disclaimer for you. This is not actually a part of the Python for Beginners series. I would definitely recommend watching this video because it will help you, but this is not a part of the Python for Beginners series. If you want to see the Python for Beginners series, you can either click the link in the description below or go to my playlist. My playlist of the Python for Beginners series, which you can find on my channel, is the best place where you can see all the Python for Beginners lessons. That's the place where you know what's a Python for Beginner lesson and what's just a regular video. But let's go ahead and begin for the people who are anxiously waiting. So go ahead and click on the little search, type here to search /Cortana search at the bottom left corner of your screen. And I want you to simply type idle. So you may have more than one idle, such as I do. I have 2 here. I want you to make sure that the one you are focused on is the idle Python 3 and the one that has the white notebook paper in the background. Make sure that you are not on this, which is the one with the black in the background. This is actually Python 2. We don't want to be using Python 2 because Python 2 is legacy and nobody likes Python 2 anymore. So make sure that you're on Python 3. And once you are on idle Python 3, go ahead and click Open File Location. Okay, and once you're here, you may think, alright, so now I double click on this, right? No. You actually right click on this, and then we click on Open File Location. Because the last time we did it, all it brought us is to where the shortcut was. We don't want to go to the shortcut, we want to go to the actual application. So now you should be brought here. So you don't want to click on the application or click on the right click on the application. We're actually going to want to click on scripts here. So you should find scripts. And, sorry, I actually just changed the way this is shown. But so go ahead and click scripts. And here, I want you to click on the bar here and copy this path. If it's not highlighted, don't worry. Just go ahead and highlight it and then Ctrl+C to copy. Make sure that you are copying the exact path. Don't just try to write it. I want you to completely copy this path from the beginning to the end. Once you've done that, go back to your Cortana /Windows search here and type cmd. So once you do that, it should bring you to this command prompt, and I want you to click Run as Administrator. So I know that what you guys are seeing right now is a black screen, but this is the part where Windows is asking if you want to allow this app to make changes to your device. So go ahead and click Yes, And if you do not, if it's asking for a password, then just input that password and click yes. But if it's not asking for a password, just click yes. So once you do that, it should bring you to this administrator command prompt. And here I want you to do something very important. Type cd. If you do not type cd, this was not going to work because we have to get to a certain directory. One of the biggest things I see beginners messing up on over and over again is forgetting to put cd when they're trying to get to a directory. Make sure you type cd and then put a space and then just paste by curl v, just paste using curl v what we've copied in the scripts here. The exact path. And again, if you have not copied this, like I asked you to, just go ahead, make sure you click here, and then do Ctrl+C to copy, and then paste it there. So now just click enter. So once you do that, it'll actually change the directory, as you can see here. Now we're in the directory of the scripts. So now I want you to type something very important. This is the actual installation part. Type pip install. And we're actually going to do this in order. So go ahead and type pip install numpy. Okay, so make sure you've typed this exactly the way I have, nothing different. So now we're actually asking Python to go access a library, which in this case is numpy. And off the internet, Python will download numpy. So click enter. And the actual procedure of installation for numpy is not that long. And it's not that long for either Pandas or Matplotlib either. But for Jupyter Notebook, it's a bit of a different story. If you do want to check out my video on how to install Jupyter Notebook, that's a good idea right after this video. Okay, so it might give you a warning. Do not just completely disregard that warning because it must give you a warning because a lot of the times it will just fail for random reasons. And one thing I must say about programming is that warnings happen all the time. And I'm not asking you to disregard them, but oftentimes warnings are just, random. So unless it says failed, warnings are generally not going to be an issue while programming. But as you can see, Python is beginning the installation of NumPy now. It has already installed one package. Okay, so now you can see that it has given me already 3 warnings, and this is why I tell you it's going to be really difficult to acknowledge all these warnings. But the key line that you want to see is this: successfully installed NumPy. So that is what you want to see. If it says successfully installed, that's what we want. And again, there's probably a million things that could go wrong. So if something goes wrong, I am very much so open for you to type your question in the comment section below. I will definitely get back to you. So now NumPy is actually installed. So now we have NumPy fully installed on our PC, and we don't have to worry about NumPy. But we also have to install we also have to install Pandas and Matplotlib. So we're going to actually type exactly the same thing. We're going to type pip install, but instead of NumPy, type Pandas. Again, make sure you have typed it exactly the way I have. Pip install and then Pandas, and then just click enter. And I want to go ahead and tell you one thing, because I don't want you waiting for the 24 hours noticing nothing has happened. If this little bleeping thing just stays there, that means that the enter has not been registered by the command prompt. So click enter again. If it still doesn't work, then just go ahead and go back a few letters and then do panda. So make sure that it does go down here, because if it doesn't, that means that it has not registered. And I really would hate if you wait for hours and hours and nothing happens. And it's all because the enter has just not been registered. So now, this is actually going to be a pretty fast installation, because Python is now ready to install all these things because it's gotten ready. So you notice that sometimes once Python, you open Python and then you tell it to install something the first time, it'll take some time. But because we've allowed Python to install one thing and just get itself ready to install more things, it just got to installing Pandas practically immediately, while it took about 20 to 30 seconds when installing NumPy. So that is one thing that you should note for your future reference about Python. And it shouldn't really take too long, no matter how fast your computer is or how slow it is. Okay, so again with the warnings happen all the time. Don't worry about the warnings. But, so again, the most important line is this one. Successfully installed pandas. And again, any problems, comment section. But, yes, so now we're going to install our final library, which is, of course, Matplotlib. So, I think you're going to notice a bit of a pattern now. We're going to again type pip install, because anytime we want to install a library off the internet, which Python does support, we're going to always put pip install. So pip install, and in this case, matplotlib. So again, same thing. Make sure that the little bleeping cursor type thing does come to the little corner. And now you can see that it is doing a good amount of work to install Matplotlib, because Matplotlib does have quite a bit of information in it. But again, notice how much faster it was to install Matplotlib, or sorry, not install, but rather begin installing Matplotlib, as opposed to something like Numpy, which we installed at the very, very beginning. Again, warnings. The warnings happen all the time. But here, the most important line, again, is the one that says successfully installed. And it does say some weird things, but the main part is here, Matplotlib. So, we have actually fully completed our installation of Numpy, Pandas, and Matplotlib at this point. We have no worries about installing any libraries now. So the first thing you might notice is that I've already closed all the tabs, and you can follow suit if all the installations were successful. And if you did have any problems, again, remember, I'm always available in the comment section. And so now that we have installed all the libraries we need to, of course, install a software so we can utilize those libraries. And that software is going to be Jupyter Notebook. So to learn how to download Jupyter Notebook and install it on your system, please go ahead and go to the second part of this series, which is, of course, a series on how to utilize Numpy, Matplotlib, Pandas, and Python. But point is, please do go ahead and move on to part 2. And in that part 2, I'm going to go ahead and show you the second part of this series, which is going to be installing Jupyter Notebook so that we can utilize IPython and our libraries here. So please do that, and if you do like these lessons and you do appreciate that, if you do appreciate everything that we are doing, then the best way to show that is by liking, sharing, and subscribing. So please do that if you do like these lessons. And of course, I do hope to see you in part 2. And yeah, see you later.